Welcome back. You are still tuned in to Namibia Connect on NBC. Now, Namibian Police Major General Nainda, the current Interpol Executive Committee Delegate for Africa, has announced her candidacy for the position of Interpol Vice President for Africa. Her candidature has been endorsed by the SADC heads of state and governments during the SADC summit that took place in Harare in August 2024. The elections for the position will be held during the 92nd Interpol General Assembly slated for the 7th to the 4th to the 7th of November 2024 in Glasgow, United Kingdom. The General Assembly is Interpol's supreme governing body and comprises delegates appointed by the government of our member countries. Now in studio we are having the pleasure to be speaking to Major General Nainda. A very good morning to you. Congratulations and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. Well, your interest to moving to Interpol, where did it all begin? If you could just take us through that journey.
Thank you very much. Namibia joined Interpol in the year 1992.
Right.
And then the office of Interpol in Namibia started to become functional in the year 1994. Mm-hmm. In 1996, I was part of the first police officers that were deployed at the local National Central Bureau, what we call the NCB, that is at the police headquarters.
Right.
And at that age already, I started to develop that commitment and the sense of wanting to be part of complex global security matters.
So talk to us about why it's important for Namibia to be represented on Interpol's top structures like this one, especially like this one of you that's candidating to become Vice President for Africa.
Yeah? Yes, Namibia has been an active player in the global policing landscape. Yeah. We are a country that is committed in all platforms where we partake. Therefore, it is very critical because the Executive Committee is the body that governs and gives oversight to the structures of the organization. It's the level where decisions are made that obviously have an impact on the global policing goals that includes Namibia, for example. So it's important for us to be represented there so that we can influence decision making and bring to the table the security challenges, not just for Namibia, but for Africa as a continent when these decisions are made, and also to bring our perspective and our talent and experiences at the global level.
Okay, speaking of coming up with discussions or decisions on the continental body, what are some of the strengths and changes that you would like to bring on the continental level, or rather on the continental body?
My being a member of the Executive Committee for the past 2 years have actually positioned me better to understand the governance processes and structures of Interpol. And also I have lived experiences being part of that governance body and being a seasoned police officer, both at national and international level. My insights and contributions that I've made for the past 2 years was very impactful. For example, at the current moment, I'm part of 2 critical subcommittees of the Executive Committee. The one is the Finance and Strategy Subcommittee, and then the other one is Operational and Institutional Matters Subcommittee. That's where we discuss at technocrat level issues and strategies and policing tools and what have you. And so I think I'm better placed. I took note of the other candidates that are running, but I'm better placed because I've already lived the activities of the Executive Committee, and I've engaged at the continent. I had a visit last year as part of the Executive Committee, where the Interpol footprint is on the continent. There are 4 regional bureaus, one in Harare, Zimbabwe, the other one in Kenya, Nairobi, the third one in Ivory Coast, Abidjan, as well as the 4th one in Cameroon. So we went there to assess the status quo of the activities that are happening there. So I've got a deep understanding of Interpol's activities, policies, and structures. So therefore, I am confident that I'm better placed, and I've demonstrated leadership in all those structures as well.
Now, what can Namibia learn from, the representation of what you have done so far during the many accolades that you have garnered from, representing Namibia from at these many events, of course, through Interpol as well? And what do you hope to also, bring back home through your representation at Interpol in the next one that's, of course, going to be taking place in the United Kingdom?
Namibia is one of the few countries, our country, that supports our initiatives and even my candidacy was endorsed by the President and by the government. And throughout my tenure for the past 2 years, I had all the necessary support from the government and from the police as well. Therefore, we have taken a strategic decision to make sure that wherever there are opportunities, we will expose police officers from Namibia to be part of global engagements and so forth.
Speaking of your candidacy, which countries are supporting Namibia's candidacy, which is, of course, yourself at the Interpol's, the upcoming initiative that's happening in the UK?
Yes, so far, as a country, we have garnered support. First of all, by the regional bloc, that is SADC. I was endorsed as the sole candidate of SADC. Yeah. Then at continental level, there were bilateral engagements at different fora, be it diplomatic and other levels. Namibia is engaged, and there's a lot of good indication that I'm supported. Internationally as well, our ambassadors are busy still engaging their counterparts to buy in to support Namibia's candidacy.
Very well. Has Interpol served Africa well in its fight to, against transnational organized crime? And what should the organization be doing differently?
Interpol, Africa is very critical in global policing because not just of the numerical majority in terms of a region, as they are designated by Interpol, they are called regions. Right. So there are 4 regions of Interpol. One is Africa, then you get the Americas, followed by Asia, and then Europe. So far, Africa has really contributed as a continent because Africa has got the best talent and is participating at all operational in all operational activities, as well as all activities of Interpol. Africa is doing well. But still, there is the issue is with the emergence of transnational organized crime. There is a constant change in policing, how we approach policing. There's a constant change in trends of transnational organized crime. Therefore, it is almost compelling that even the way Interpol does things, they've achieved a lot of things as an organization over the past 100 years. But because of the current trends, there is a constant change. It's globalization, it's digitization, and the crime forms are changing. Therefore, there will always be room for improvement. Interpol will still have to continue to take on strategies that are fit for future, as well as transformative approaches, be it governance approaches, be it operational approaches, and investigative approaches, and so forth. So I think there's still a lot that can be transformed.
Absolutely. How does this make you feel personally, Major General? Because you seem very passionate for law enforcement, of course, bringing up change in the world of law enforcement, or rather in the country and continentally, and even globally, now with the next step that you are headed into. How does this step make you feel personally, as, of course, a representative or a law enforcement candidate?
It makes me I now realize that after more than 3 decades of policing, that I've really grown in terms of experience, in terms of leadership. So I think I will continue to serve that structure because I'm already in the structure. The current position that I'm vying for is just the next level of progression. And I remain committed because I want to be part of the solution for global security and peace.
Well, before we say goodbye, formally. Let's quickly just take a look at the promo on Major General Nainda's bid.
The Deputy Inspector General of the Namibian Police Force, responsible for administration, is a candidate for the position of Interpol Vice President for Africa 2024. She currently serves as a delegate for Africa on the Interpol Executive Committee, contributing actively to its global law enforcement agenda. With a career spanning over 30 years in law enforcement, Major General Nainda has consistently leveraged her expertise to shape and guide both internal and external operational frameworks. Her leadership in strategic planning, organizational performance, and policy review processes has been instrumental in enhancing the efficacy of policing structures. Major General Nainda's experience at Interpol NCB Windhoek and her secondment as a regional specialized officer in Harare, Zimbabwe, have equipped her with skills and insights essential for global policing efforts. Her active involvement in regional and international organizations such as SARCO highlights her profound contributions to international police cooperation. Major General Nainda has also been at the forefront of transnational and cross-border anti-crime initiatives, including her participation in the SADC Observer Mission in Lesotho, where she gained insights into the complexities of modern-day law enforcement. In addition, Major General Nainda's work in shaping initiatives such as the African Standby Force Doctrine and advancing Namibia's women, peace and security agenda underscores her commitment to strengthening regional and continental security strategies, thereby advocating for equal gender and representation, diversity, and institutional reforms within the Interpol structures. Vote for Major General Anna-Marie Nainda as Namibia's candidate for Interpol Vice President for Africa.
That's right. So many accolades that our Major General, of course, has attained through her great work that she has done. Major General, quite, excited to have learned so much about you and, of course, of what the next steps also hold. Talk to us about perhaps the role of women, in law enforcement, especially in leadership, especially also on law enforcement level. What can you share about this and, of course, also maybe your parting thoughts as well?
Yes, the role of women has always been remarkable in the policing landscape. Mm-hmm. And organizations like Interpol is a premium international police organization. Right. So it means it's a global, it's having global leadership, and it influences policies and standards of policing. Therefore, having women in the top structures of Interpol mm-hmm. is not just a matter of justice and fairness. It's a strategic imperative. Because most of the emerging crimes, like human trafficking, for example, right. are having a strong element, sexual violence and all of this new trends are having a strong element that compels any policing organization to ensure that women are equally represented in the policing or in the global security structure or continental security structure. Therefore, I believe that those who are going to vote will mm-hmm. also consider that. And we have been performing over the years. Yeah. I will offer proactive and contextual leadership amidst the global developments, geopolitics, and the challenges that we are facing. I will definitely offer proactive and contextual leadership that I've already offered at different platforms.
Very well. Well, Major General, thank you so much for making the time to talk to us this morning. We are very grateful for your service. Thank you so much for representing us well. And we trust that, of course, we'll take on this role, of course, to your best of our ability. We wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.